So this was an interesting problem put to me. Someone who works a 4-day week said they want to put something into their calendar because their day off changes each week. And when they put something into their calendar, it automatically sets their out of office replies for that day. So they haven't got to keep going in and doing it themselves. Okay, I thought, let's see what we can do. So if you log into office.com and you click on the waffle menu, what you are looking for is Power Automate. If you don't see Power Automate, click on the apps and all apps, and if you scroll down, you will find Power Automate there. When you open Power Automate, something like this will appear. And let's dive straight in. What we're going to do is we're going to create this, what they call a flow, and the flow will look at our calendar. If it sees a particular phrase in the subject of the calendar entry, it will set our automatic replies. So we are going to create a new flow. And what we want here is a scheduled cloud flow. We're going to give it a name, so we'll call this Setup Automatic Replies. When do we want it to start? So it's currently 11 AM on the 4th of October. So what I'll do is I'll start this on the 5th of October and we will do it at 6 AM. And we want to run it once a day. Click Create. And this is Power Automate. And what we are doing now is creating a flow. So as you can see, it's giving us recurrence. And if we click on it, you can see that that's what we've set up. This means that once a day, whatever happens under here will run. So click on the plus to insert a new step and add an action. And the first thing we need to do is we need to find the current time. So if you type in current, scroll down a bit, you'll see in date and time, current time. So at 6 AM, it's going to run and it's going to get the current time of 6 AM. We're now going to insert a new step and add an action. And we are going to get future time. So if we type in future, scroll down, get future time. And we want to specify this as being 12 hours. So what are we doing at the moment? It's 6 AM in the morning, the flow runs, it's getting the current time of 6 AM, and it's getting another time which is 12 hours into the future. We now need it to look at your calendar. So if we click on the plus and add an action, and if I just type in get calendar, you'll see one of the options that comes up is get calendar of events. And now we have some options. It asks for a calendar ID. And if we click on there, it will be the calendars you have access to. And you just want to select calendar. That is your calendar. The start time, if we click in the box, we can click on this little lightning bolt and you can see the previous things that we've got into the flow. So what we want for the start time is current time. And what we want for the end time, click on the lightning bolt, is future time. So what this is now doing is anything in your calendar between 6 AM and 12 hours after 6 AM, so 6 PM, it's now going to get hold of that information so it can look at it. We're now going to go in and add an action. And what we want to look for now is a condition. And if we click on condition, this will pop up. And now we have to choose a value. In that box, just click on the little lightning bolt and select subject. So what this is doing now is that, as you can see from the flow down the right hand side, we are at 6 AM running it. We're getting the current time of 6 AM. We're getting a future time of 6 PM. And then we are getting all the items that are in our calendar between those two times. And then it's saying for each of those items, run this condition. And this condition is looking at the subject. So let's say that our subject, for the benefit of this, we will say NC for not contracted. If the subject is equal to NC, then it will run this. If you make a slight mistake and say you put an extra C on the end, it would not be equal to NC, so it wouldn't work. Okay? You'd need to make sure, that what you're putting into your calendar for your time off would be NC, capital letters, exactly as it is. If you put a space in, it won't work. Those sort of things. Now what you can do is you can set this to be, instead of equal to, contains. The problem with that is, if for any reason the words NC appear together in the subject, it will think that you're on non-contracted time, for instance, and set your automatic replies. So we do need to have it as is equal to, but you need to remember exactly what you have to put in, okay? So for this, it's going to be NC, capital letters, okay? That could be AL, that could be PTO, paid time off, those sort of things, right? So what it's going to do now is it's going to grab your event in your calendar, it's going to look at it, and if the subject is equal to NC, not contracted, it will do one of two things. If it doesn't equal that, it's false. We don't have to do anything. If it is equal to that, it's true. And then we add something into the true step. So I'll click on the plus there and add an action. If I type in set up automatic replies pops up. So I'll click in there and it goes into the true section. Now, there's a little glitch here. We should be able to go through and set this quite easily, but if we click on show all, for instance, it shows everything, but it's not quite working as we should, believe it or not. So what I suggest you do is if you click clear all, clears everything, and then if you click show all again, things become a little bit easier to use. So status, if I click on it now, I can go to scheduled, okay? External audience, if I click on it, I can go to all. And as you can see, you can also just say that only your contacts get the automatic reply. So that's a choice for you. For this, I'm going to set it to all. What is the start time and date? Well, if I click on the little lightning bolt, the start date is current time. I could scroll down. Then we don't have to worry about time zone. What's the end time? Click on the lightning bolt and it's future time. And then I have an internal reply message and an external reply message. So internally is anyone who works at your organization and has got an email address with the same kind of at whatever, and then external is everyone else. So all you do here is you just enter your message. So I've done the same message here for internal and external. A little word of warning, you'll see there I've put a couple of line breaks in. It doesn't actually read the line breaks properly. What you have to do is insert some HTML tags, which sounds incredibly complicated, but it's nothing to worry about. If you just put the less than symbol P and the greater than symbol, that stands for paragraph. So what I do to keep it nice and simple is I write it out how I want it to look, and then any of these double spaces I just put the less than P, greater than symbols, and it'll work. Okay, that's it now. It's all done. So you just click save. You'll see it says saving, and then once it's done, it says your flow is ready to go. We recommend you test it. If you just click on test, click on manually and test, run the flow, it'll say that it started successfully. To monitor it, you go to the flow runs page, click done. If you just click back, this is the flows run page. It'll tell you your flow is ready to go, got it, and you'll see it will say there that it ran at 11:04 on October the 4th. The run took 511 milliseconds and it succeeded. You're done. That will now run for you every day at 6 a.m. All you need to do to make sure it works is in your calendar. So it's going to run tomorrow morning, for instance. So if in my calendar, I make sure that I've got an all day, and in there I just put NC. Click save. And when that flow runs tomorrow morning, it will automatically set my out of office. If you ever need to change this, you'll come back to Power Automate. It may take you to the home page. If you just click on My Flows, you'll see all your flows that you have If you hover over the setup automatic replies, you can see you've got the little pencil icon there. If I click on edit, you can see that I can edit the flow. Also, if I go into my flows, if I just click on the name of the flow, it will take me back to this page, and you can see it shows you all the times that it's run in the last 28 days. So you can keep an eye on it and just make sure that it's working. So hopefully you found that useful.